waters turned to blood. They're lying, talking about they have capped a well. Then they lied, making people in the United States think that it's the British Petroleum's fault and BP's fault. And we found out from people in Britain, in Europe, that the majority of the shares owned on BP is owned by American companies. So they're passing the buck over to making people mad at British Petroleum to pass the buck. And really, British Petroleum is a predominantly owned American company. Then you get Barack Obama on TV, on the news, claiming that he's going to make a stand against these Brits. He's going to make a stand against Great Britain. When Halliburton and all those companies own the shares. Okay? So what's going on now? What's going on now is there's an uproar in government when it comes to this oil spill. They're trying to plan on what the next course of action is. They're trying to plan on the next course of action based on the seepage under the oil well. When really we know what the next course of action is. Displacement. Okay? I can't go through it all, but I just want to, where's my I put my apocrypha here. My annotated apocrypha. Yeah. I wanted to go into what's going to happen in the Middle East, because I've never went over it with y'all here, and I said I would. And then we'll be open for questions, and we'll see you all Friday. Saturday, okay. Well, we got to go out Friday, right? You have yours? Alright. I need you to read this. And this is happening all over the world. What's happening with people losing jobs, and the resources are going up to the point where you can't afford the resources. This is happening all over the earth. There's a famine that's developing right now over in Russia because it's, because of the heat wave that's over there. Resources are going up high. Jobs are being lost. And it's amazing to me, if you look at the United States politics, get 2nd Edwards 15 and 2nd Edwards 16 for me. If you look at the politics, not just the United States, but over here also. You look at the politics of how so many people are out of work. Right? Don't have jobs. Don't know where the next dollar is going to come from or what have you. But yet, legislation is on the table for Barack Obama to extend what you would call the stimulus. And I'm going to show you how they play both sides, even though there's no such thing as Democrat or Republican. They're all on the same side. Masons under Satan. Okay? There is no good or bad. They both play the middle. Barack Obama is now blaming the Republicans for not signing the stimulus bill, saying they're playing political football with people's lives, saying it's the Republicans' fault. Okay, let's make it clear, Barack Obama. You can't get the Republicans to sign on to any legislation to help the people. But all the bills are voted on almost 100% when it comes to securing and detaining the people and destroying the people. The Republicans and Democrats can get together to sign a bill to take rights away, in which you can't speak. You can't do this because of terrorism. You can't do that because of terrorism. They're together. There's no gridlock there. There's no gridlock. The Republicans and Democrats can agree to sign all these different bills to bring the governors together under a FEMA emergency, to bring all organizations together, state, federal, and local, in an emergency. All these things can happen. Y'all can get together and be 100% there. But when it comes to finding money that can help these people that are out of work, the Republicans are trying to stop him from passing a bill. When they sign all the other bills you put out throughout your administration that will eventually oppress the people, including the health care bill. Where's the gridlock there? You see how they play with people's minds to make people think, well, it's the Republicans, it's the Democrats, when really it's an attack on the people. It's what the Bible calls Jacob's trouble. And see, we need to get out of this thing following what the media is telling us about this middle class thing. They're trying to eradicate the middle class. No, they're trying to eradicate the children of Israel. I'm trying to put out some middle class, so we still muddy in the waters. What people can't afford to live right now? The poor. If they're doing this to the middle class, then what happens to the poor? Right? Now, let's go to 2nd Ezra. And it's amazing. The same time that they got people distracted, this is what's going on. You got all these ships over there in the Middle East, under the Suez Canal, past Egypt. There's about to be an all-out war in Iran. You got a flood that just happened in China that killed so many people from a dam. Alright? You have all these destructions going on in the earth. And the only thing that people in America can think about is that LeBron James just signed to the Miami Heat. Madness. He's going to Florida to do what? Breathe in the toxins that's coming out of the Gulf of Mexico? I need you to get this here to show you what's happening here. Which says victuals shall be cheap. Get the regular apocrypha here. Get that. 2nd Ezra 15. Let's start here. Let's start at 14. All this is happening all at once, and let me read this, because I want to say this. While we were in the conference, you had the one person that was alarmed and said, well, listen, you know, we've been listening for a while, but this one person said that, you know, they don't want to walk around paranoid based on the information. So they, you know, they'd rather feel that everything is okay. But even if we don't do anything, even if we just stand still and not do anything at all, the prophecies will still affect us one way or the other. There's nothing we can't get around it. Period. So I want to go into this. I said I would go into this, and then we can save it. We can answer a few questions. To show you some of the times, I need you to go to 2nd Ezra 15. What verse you at there? Where you at? I want that too. I want that too. But get the one in the 15th verse. Read it.
2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 14.
2nd Ezra in your apocrypha. 15 and 14.
Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
The Lord says, woe to the world and those that live in the world, because destruction is near. Now, that's not a bad thing for the children of Israel. That's not a bad thing. Because the children of Israel, we must go through Jacob's trouble to get our kingdom. The Lord says, woe to the world. And the only reason you will feel a certain type of way would be if you are attached to this world and feel that you need this world to continue. You cannot have two worlds that rule at the same time. In order for Christ's kingdom to stand, this world must fall. Read.
Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another.
One people shall stand up to fight against another. The media, like I said last week, is fueling